A lion is sprinting toward you. Your body floods with 14 different chemicals in under a second. Heart doubles. Vision narrows. Muscles lock. Every single system in your body collapses into one instruction. Survive right now. Now, remove the lion. Keep everything else. That's your Tuesday morning. That's the 3 a.m. thought that won't stop. That's the chest tightness before a meeting that hasn't started. That's the dread that shows up on a Sunday evening for absolutely no reason you can name. You are not anxious because something is wrong with you. You are anxious because something is right with you. Something that was built perfectly for a world that no longer exists. And today, we're going to go inside it. To understand what's happening in your body right now, we have to go back, not 100 years, not 1,000 years, 50,000 years. Your ancestor is sitting at the edge of a dying fire. African grassland. No walls, no roof, no lock on a door. Just open darkness in every direction. And in that darkness, things wanted to eat him, not occasionally.
Every single night. Leopards that could see in the dark. Hyenas that hunted in packs. Snakes invisible in the grass. Survival wasn't about strength. The lions were stronger. It wasn't about speed. The cheetahs were faster. Survival was about detection. The ancestor who heard a sound and ignored it got eaten. The ancestor who heard a sound and immediately, automatically, without thinking, flooded his body with adrenaline and prepared to fight or run, he survived. He had children. Those children survived. And 50,000 years later, you are sitting here with his nervous system, his amygdala, his threat response running perfectly in a world he would not recognize.
Let's slow this down, because what happens inside you when anxiety hits is one of the most sophisticated things in all of biology. It starts in a tiny almond-shaped structure buried deep in your brain. The amygdala. Its only job is threat detection. It doesn't analyze. It doesn't reason. It scans. Constantly. Every second you are alive. The moment it detects something that even resembles danger, it fires. Before your conscious mind knows anything happened faster. Faster than thought. Faster than language. Faster than the part of you that could say, wait, let me think about this. In that fraction of a second, your adrenal glands dump adrenaline and cortisol into your blood. Your heart rate spikes, pumping oxygenated blood to your muscles. Your lungs expand, pulling in more air. Your digestion completely shuts down. Energy cannot be wasted. Your peripheral vision narrows. Focus locks onto the threat. Your skin goes cold. Blood pulls inward to protect organs. Your palms sweat. Ancient grip enhancement for climbing and fighting. Your pain tolerance rises. Injury cannot slow you down right now. 14 simultaneous changes. All of them perfect. All of them designed for one thing. Getting you away from a predator alive. The problem is, your amygdala cannot tell the difference between a lion and an email.
Here is the cruelest part of this story. Evolution is slow. Excruciatingly slow. Your nervous system is essentially the same one your ancestor had on that grassland, but the threats have completely transformed. There are no lions in your office. There are no predators on your commute. The darkness outside your window holds nothing that wants to eat you. But your amygdala doesn't know that. It was never updated. Nobody sent a patch. Nobody told it, hey, the lions are gone. You can stand down now. So it kept scanning. And the modern world, without meaning to, gave it infinite new targets. Your boss's tone in a one-line message. The notification you haven't checked. The silence after you said something vulnerable. The Sunday dread of Monday. The fear of being judged, rejected, left behind. Not enough. None of these will kill you. But your amygdala files them under the same folder as the lion. Activate everything. And your body responds exactly the same way it did on the savannah. To a calendar invite. Now here is what separates modern anxiety from what your ancestor felt.
His stress had an ending. The threat appeared. His body exploded into action. He ran, he fought, he hid. And when it was over, it was over. He sat back down by the fire. His breathing slowed. His heart rate dropped. Cortisol cleared from his blood. The stress cycle completed. Yours doesn't complete. Because modern threats don't end cleanly. That conversation you're dreading hasn't happened yet. So there's nothing to run from, nothing to fight, nowhere to go. Your body activated the full survival response and then had absolutely nothing to do with it. So the cortisol just sits there. And cortisol running constantly, not in a crisis, but as a low background hum, is one of the most damaging things that can happen to a human body. It fragments your sleep. It slows digestion. It weakens immunity. It erodes memory. It makes your amygdala more sensitive, which means more triggers, more cortisol, more sensitivity. A loop that tightens every single time it runs. Think about your last week. How many things did you dread that turned out completely fine? How many nights did you lose to a problem that looked different by morning? How many versions of a conversation did you rehearse in your head that never happened the way you imagined? That mental rehearsal, that relentless what-if thinking, that was your ancestor, scanning the darkness, listening for sounds, running simulations before the threat arrived. It saved his life 100 times. In your life, it is costing you sleep, costing you presence, costing you hours you will never get back, preparing you for lions that are never going to come. You are not anxious because you are broken. You are anxious because you inherited the most finely tuned survival machine ever produced by millions of years of natural selection. It just never got the memo that the war is over. So what do you do with a 50,000-year-old nervous system in a 2025 world? You cannot delete the amygdala. You cannot reason with it in the moment because in the moment, it has already bypassed reason entirely. But you can do something it never expects. You can name it. The next time the loop starts, the chest tightness, the racing thoughts, the dread with no address, say it. Out loud if you can. In your head if you can't. There is no lion. Neuroscience calls this affect labeling. When you consciously name what is happening in your body, your prefrontal cortex activates. That is the newest, most human part of your brain. The part that can look at the amygdala and say, I see you, but I'm in charge right now. It doesn't silence the alarm immediately, but it begins to loosen its grip. You are not suppressing the anxiety. You are stepping outside of it, long enough to remember what it actually is. An ancient alarm, still doing its job, in a world that no longer needs it quite so loud. The lion is gone. But the response it built in you, across millions of years, through every ancestor who ever made it through the night, that is still here. It kept every single one of them alive. It brought you here. And now, for the first time in human history, you are safe enough to watch it run and choose what to do next. That is not a small thing. That is everything. Share this with someone whose anxiety deserves to be understood, not just medicated.